How it all start for you? Like just from the top of like how did you transition into like the Multiple Streams podcast? You know what I'm saying, and just basically hustling and creating different ways to get money and make a name for yourself.
So I never was able to get no job coming up, bro. So the only way I could get something is by being creative and coming up with my own shit. You know, I was a little nigga in the hood, collecting cans at 8, shit like that, trying to beat the J's. You know, if I seen somebody with a washing machine outside, you know me. Stuff like that, man. So hearing the word no kind of forced me to be an entrepreneur. And then, you know, like everybody I look up to got their own stage, whether they a comedian, rapper, or something. So when the podcast came out, I was like, I can't rap. Not saying I can't do it, but I can't be a rapper. So then when that shit came out, you know what I mean, I was like, okay, cool. You know, it's my way to, for one, it's my way to talk to people about what they got going on, because I interview mostly entrepreneurs. You know, you go to a nigga with money, they ain't really quick to tell you what they doing, how they doing it, but you tell them you got a platform, they'll sit down with you for an hour or two. So, and then just to give back, bro. You know what I mean? When I was coming up, it wasn't really a whole lot of ways to get no money. So I was like, you know, when it's my time, and I figured out, you know, when it's my time, I'm pretty much, you know, tell people to do other shit. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I was an educated kid, but I still ended up, you know, hustling and shit like that. And it's like, you know, I don't necessarily regret it. But I'm like, if it was other folks showing me different ways to do it, shit, I would have been doing that. You know what I mean? So that's how that came about. Just like I say, everybody I look up to got their own stage. And then, you know, I just felt like, you know, when it started kind of going up, you know, in like 2020-ish, I was just like, shit, I can do that. You know what I mean? I can see myself doing that. I couldn't do comedy, bro. I was in the hood one day. I tried to practice stand-up comedy, nigga. I couldn't even get that right. One time I tried to record a song, nigga. I'm with bro, what up, man? I couldn't. I had the words and everything written down. I couldn't get 4 sentences out there.
You ain't feel it.
Hell yeah. So I could do this though. You feel what I'm saying?
What you think, like if somebody, like, let's say if their financial situation is not in order or whatever the case may be, do you think in every particular situation it's on them and they making excuses and not taking accountability for not doing what they're supposed to do to handle their business? Or do you think sometimes somebody might just be down on their luck?
Man, so you know, everybody, some people got so much bullshit in front of them, it's kind of hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So it's like, your environment do a lot, you know what I mean? I was blessed to not have no super stressful environment coming up, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I ain't had no Jordans or nothing, but you know, my mom wasn't on no crack, you know what I mean? You know, like every time I look up, ain't nobody stealing nothing from me, or, you know, so your environment, so I can't say they making excuses, you know what I'm saying? They just might be in such a fucked up environment that they ain't got no access to a bank or Scream or BAM, you know what I mean? Or nobody ever really told them that reading's cool, or, you know, like my parents was educated, so some people parents are not, are the opposite, you know what I mean? And you know, some people parents don't even know how to teach them how to read and all that type of shit. So I feel like some people's environment can be fucked up, but it's still a way, because it's some people that made away from that. You know what I mean? It's niggas that got crackhead parents. I mean, I ain't gonna say, there's some people that have parents that was
crack
babies.
Yeah.
They just perk babies now, you know what I mean? So it's some people that overcame that, to where they ain't making no excuse. But like, I'd be a fool to sit here and act like I'd be in the same situation if I ain't have my situation coming up. So I do feel like it's always resources, but you know, you can't tell a nigga go to the library. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, especially if you ain't going to the library, and then it's like the only form of success you really see as a black person sometimes, black man sometimes, is a stripper, a drug dealer, or it might be a doctor or a lawyer, something that's so high that you can't even really, like, nigga, I'm failing math. How the fuck I'm gonna become a doctor? You know what I mean? I was just talking to my partner yesterday. He from Boston. And he was saying they didn't fathom going to school. And I'm like, nigga, I got all them Ivy League schools. He like, nigga, how the fuck I'm gonna get an Ivy League? You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like some people's environment so fucked up, it'd be hard for them to come up. You know what I mean? To be real with you.
What's the main thing you think somebody might get from watching your podcast?
My whole goal, man, is I interview different people on my platform, Multiple Streams Podcast, different people that doing different things. So you might not want to do what BAM do. You know, my thing is I buy, sell, trade. I'm like the hood pawn shop. But like yesterday, I interviewed a barber. I interviewed my dude Ken Collier. He going for state representative, District 62. And you know, I'm like, shit, if somebody just want to make a change, how does that work? How do you get money from that? So the whole thing I really want them to do you know, even if I interview a celebrity, I try to pull some personal development from it. I think my purpose is to get this money and show other people how to get this money, and then show people how to be the better version of them. Anybody know me coming up, I ain't had shit growing up. I ain't never had no Jordans. I wasn't never fresh. You know what I mean? I wasn't ever, you know, it took a little minute to get here. So I'm on some shit like, if I could do it, you could do it. For real, especially if you come from a similar situation. You know what I mean?